Make sure you stick around to the end because as a bonus, we're also going to be unboxing some stuff. So let's get on with the video. Breyer's Music Showcase is brought to you by the people over at Patreon. Pledge today and get access to exclusive perks. Link in the description. Welcome to Breyer's Music Showcase. I'm Bryer and welcome back to another video. And it's that time once again where I go through all the CDs I picked up throughout the month. Yep, I really don't hold my end of the bargain, do I? I got about 40, and that's also including the ones we're going to unbox at the end. So, not as much, especially in the beginning of the year, but still, it's quite a bit. So I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. Regardless, hopefully you still enjoy these monthly CD hauls. If you do, please give it a like, subscribe if you are new, and of course in the comments, let me know your thoughts on any of these CDs I'm going to be showing. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Alright, this first section are the ones I've shown before, and these are the ones that were sent to me by Mickey. So the first CD I'm going to show from this category, we have 10,000 Maniacs with Blind Man's Zoo. So here it is right here. So I have another 10,000 Maniacs CD. I think in the video I said I didn't have any others, but that's wrong because I actually do have their Unplugged album, and it was actually a pretty solid Unplugged concert thing. But I do own another studio album from them. It was called Our Time in Eden. So this is now my second studio album from them that I own, and yeah, it's a pretty nice album. Again, there's nothing like I am in love with. I mean, I like the lead singer. I think she has a nice voice, but musically it's kind of just your, you know, kind of very chill, sort of like alternative rock sort of thing. Again, nothing too memorable, but still it's pretty solid. When I look to the side, I have notes written on songs that I liked. So songs like Eat for Two, Please Forgive Us, Trouble Me, You Happy Puppet, Poison in the Well, and Hateful Hate I thought were pretty nice songs. Everything besides those are songs that I thought were just okay, but overall pretty solid album, pretty enjoyable. So yeah, not much else to say really. And for the next one, we have a country rock album. We have Brothers Osborne with Pawn Shop, and I know Mickey has said he is a big fan of this album, and he actually requested it on my Patreon for me to react to, and that is, hopefully by the time this video comes up, it is up there. So if you want to head to my Patreon and want to pledge and get access to my reaction to this album, then it's there. But I'm not going to say what my opinion is because all that's on that video. So there you go. That's just want to still show it. And following that, we have two albums from the same artist. We have Bruce Springsteen. So we have Tunnel of Love, and then we have The Rising. So Tunnel of Love we'll talk about first. And I've said this many times, I'm not like a huge fan of Bruce Springsteen. He can be very hit or miss for me. And this album is kind of no exception. This came out '87. And there were songs I did enjoy, like Tougher Than the Rest, I thought was solid. Spare Parts, Walk Like a Man, the title track, Two Faces, One Step Up. I thought were pretty nice songs, but again, everything else kind of was like, it's okay. Nothing that I will go back to that often. However, this was actually a kind of surprise, but I actually would say I prefer The Rising over Tunnel of Love for me. I don't know why. The music just kind of spoke to me just a little bit more, and his vocals were actually pretty solid throughout. And so songs that I really liked were Lonesome Day, Into the Fire, Waiting on a Sunny Day, Nothing Man. That's probably my favorite song, Nothing Man. Counting on a Miracle, Let's Be Friends, Skin to Skin, Mary's Place, You're Missing, the title track, Paradise, and My City of Ruins. So this is actually a very solid Bruce Springsteen album, and it's a kind of more late period. This came out in 2002, I think, something like that. And yeah, pretty good, not bad really. So good job, Bruce. And next up we have this Rolling Stones Kinda Live album. I think I did some research. Some of it's live, but then some of it's like studio re-recordings, but acoustic versions. We have the Rolling Stones Stripped, and I don't have much to say on this really because it's pretty much what you expect. It's mostly acoustic, kind of more stripped back versions of their songs. Some of it's live, some of it's studio. It's okay. I really would not want to listen to this one again, honestly. But if you're a Stones fan, that you might enjoy this a bit more. I mean, I like the Stones, but I kind of like their more rocking stuff. I do like some of their acoustic stuff, but only in small doses. But yeah, still cool though. But then we get a real heavy hitter. We have Thin Lizzy with Live Dangerous, and this is a live album I've been meaning to check out for quite some time, and it did not disappoint. I mean, I'm a big Thin Lizzy fan at this point, and yeah, the recording on here is really great, and it is absolutely spectacular, and it is just so heavy. I mean, Phil Lynott sounds great on here, both bass and vocals, and the guitar playing is great, and a lot of great songs that they chose for this one. Yeah, it's an excellent one. Definitely worth checking out if you're a Thin Lizzy fan. And fun fact, apparently Huey Lewis was he was present in one of the shows because he plays harmonica. I thought that was kind of funny, kind of interesting, weird combination if you think about it, but still interesting though. But excellent live album. And we have another live album. We have Neil Young and Crazy Horse with Live Rust, of course during the, I guess, the Rust tour, if that's how you say it. It's early in the morning when I'm recording this, by the way, so I'm not going to remember everything. But you know, this is around the time that he would release Rust Never Sleeps, which was a big album for him. So you get a bit more of what was being played on those shows, and yeah, it's a pretty good one. I like this one. You have a good mixture of acoustic stuff that he's known for, the more folk stuff, but then you have the more rocking stuff that he likes to do. You get a little bit of both worlds, which is great. And yeah, it's a good recording, pretty good album. I liked it. Again, not my favorite live album I've ever heard, but has some good moments. So yeah, if you're a Neil Young fan, check this one out. And now we're going back to a studio album. We have ZZ Top, and this is a 90s album, 94 I think, and this one is Antenna. So haven't checked out a different ZZ Top album for a long time because I showed it in the video, but for a while now, all I had was this kind of like 10 album box set here. But here we're actually venturing out, we're checking out another album, and it's a pretty good one. It's pretty strong. Songs that were pretty good were, I'm going to try to say the first one, Pincushion, if that's how you say it. Pretty good opening song. World of Swirl, Fuzzbox Voodoo, Antenna Head, Cherry Head, and Deal Going Down. Yeah, for a more 90s ZZ Top, it's pretty decent. Probably not my favorite, but there's some good rocky moments on here. I mean, Billy Gibbons, good guitar player. Not much else to say really, but yeah, not bad. And the last one I'll be very quick on. We have the soundtrack to Braveheart. So of course the movie was pretty big, one of Mel Gibson's big films. And again, this is the soundtrack. You know, if you're a fan of the movie, you're gonna love the soundtrack. For someone who has not seen the movie, I will admit, if I have seen the movie, maybe it would, you know, have a bigger impact on me. But you know, still nice, still cool. So maybe one day I'll check out Braveheart when I get a chance, if I have time. But still wanted to show it. So there you go. Alright, so the rest of these you have not seen before. A lot of these are from either Amazon, but mostly from record stores, or mostly from Folk Arts Rare Records. First up, we have the Bee Gees with ESP. This is from '87. And yeah, checking out somewhat more later Bee Gees. Of course, this is past their peak disco era. Now they're just kind of doing their more of a standard pop sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, I like it. It's pretty good. Title track is a good opening song, but I mean, the real reason I bought this was because it has the song You Win Again, which is a spectacular song from them. Just a good it's just a great song. If you've not heard You Win Again, I think it's a really great pop song from them. And then we have Live or Die, which is good. The Longest Night, Angela, Overnight, and Back to Funk, which is kind of a weird title. Don't know if I want the Bee Gees talking like that. But yeah, it's a great pop. It's a pretty good pop album, pretty strong, a lot of strong material. Not like, I wouldn't say like, I mean, granted, I've not listened to every Bee Gees album, but I can probably tell this is probably not like a top tier album, but pretty solid during this time period for them. So yeah, pretty good. Following that, we have Crowded House with their self-titled debut from 1986. So yeah, I've heard of Crowded House. I mean, the main reason I wanted to get this one was because it has their big hits, Don't Dream It's Over, which is this great kind of mid-80s kind of pop, sort of a little bit of a ballad type of track. Just an excellent song. I love the chorus to that track. But it was kind of interesting to check out more beyond that big hit, and it was another surprising one. I actually really dug it. Mean to Me, World Where You Live, Now We're Getting Somewhere, Something to So Strong, Can't Carry On, I Walk Away, Tombstone were some of the big highlights for me. And there were a couple songs that were just okay, but still, pretty strong album. I dig their sound. Again, not my favorite type of, in the grand scheme of things, it's not like my go-to style of music, but when I'm in the right mood, it will definitely fill that void. So yeah, pretty nice pickup. I'm getting to a little bit more hip-hop recently. I have no idea why I'm getting a bit of a kick for it. But the first one I'm going to show, it's not the only one, by the way. We'll get to the other one later, but we have Dr. Dre with The Chronic. So, of course, Dr. Dre, very big figure in the gangster rap, hip-hop genre. Of course, he was known for being in NWA originally, but then he would go on to have this long solo career and become one of the big producers of the genre. And this was his album, and of course, doing research, this was a huge seller. And yeah, it was, again, I decided to check out this era of rap because this is usually seen as like the peak era, and yeah, I can definitely get why. Yeah, I really dug this album. Again, I know most of my viewers don't really care or really don't like rap at all, but I don't know, I'm kind of slowly starting to soften my opinion on it because, again, I was one of those people who just did not want to get into rap whatsoever, but given how I'm slowly starting to be more open to genres I'm not really into, yeah, I really found myself kind of enjoying this one. I'm not going to say all the songs I liked because honestly, I actually dug pretty much 95% of the tracks here. I will say the songs I didn't care for were D's Nuts, Rat Tat Tat, the $20 Sack Pyramid, because I think that's mostly like an audio skit or whatever. And then The Doctor's Office was another one of those kind of interlude type of things. And the last song, Bitches Ain't Shit, that's something. But overall, everything was really good. I mean, Snoop Dogg's is on here a lot, which is kind of cool. Probably my favorite song is Nothing But a G Thing, which was a big single. Just a good groove, and the bass line, pretty shockingly, goes hard. But there you go, The Chronic, Dr. Dre. Following that up, now we're getting back to more of the usual genres I talk about. We have some more progressive rock, and we have quite a bit of progressive rock in here. And these two are from the same band, a pretty notable prog band. We have some Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So I picked up Works Volume 2, and we found Love Beach. So we'll talk about the Works first. So I already do own Works Volume 1. I think that's another one that Mickey sent me quite a bit ago. And so I didn't have Volume 2, so in the record store, found it. Might as well finish the duology there. And this is usually seen as the lesser of those two because this is basically like their coda or their odds and sods, where there's a bunch of songs they kind of had left over that were rejects from other albums, so they decided to just put it all together for this one. And based on what I've gathered from most ELP fans, it's kind of a mixed bag. Some of the songs are actually kind of decent, while the rest are usually songs that you're like, yeah, I can see why they rejected these originally. And I get the same sentiments from it. Again, there are some songs I did kind of like Tiger in the Spotlight, Bullfrog, Brain Salad Surgery, Watching Over You, I Believe in Father Christmas, which is shockingly a pretty big Christmas song for them. And then we have Show Me the Way to Go Home. And then, yeah, the rest were kind of like, they're fine. So definitely not a favorite of mine. I mean, granted, I wouldn't say I'm a huge MLP fan, but I like some of the stuff. But yeah, kind of a mixture. And then talking about Love Beach. I mean, it is notorious for being one of the worst progressive rock album covers, because you have the band basically doing like this Bee Gees-esque sort of, I don't know, photo or whatever. It's so weird. And this is usually seen as one of the worst albums from the band, solely because this is kind of their attempt to venture into a more commercial sound, because it was pretty much a contract. The record label's like, you owe us one more album, so they're like, okay, fine, we'll give you one. And you can tell they were really stretching on this one. The commercial stuff really doesn't work, doesn't really fit them. I mean, songs I kind of liked, All I Want Is You, which is actually a kind of decent song, and then For You I thought was also kind of decent. But really, the only song that most ELP fans seem to enjoy is the last song, which is Memoirs of an Officer and a Gentleman, which is a 20 minutes song. And so it's probably the closest, it's kind of showing they still have that progressive side to them. But to get to it, you have to go through kind of like this very schmaltzy, very kind of to some generic sounding kind of pop rock stuff. Yeah, it's a kind of whatever album. The last song's actually kind of cool, but everything else kind of is like falls flat. But I got it solely because I think the album cover is funny. So there we go. All right, next up we have Envy of None. It's their second album, released earlier this year actually. And I believe it's pronounced Stygian Waves? Question mark on that pronunciation, but yeah, it's their second album. And for those who don't know who Envy of None is, it's a band, and one of the members is Alex Lifeson from Rush. And I already do own their debut album, and I thought it was a pretty solid, album. And this is kind of still very strong. I could definitely tell they're definitely venturing and experimenting a lot more with different types of music. Like there was a more world influence on there, which was kind of cool. But yeah, guitar playing, very cool. Alex is really trying different styles. Sometimes he does a more traditional, kind of more rocking thing, but other times he's doing a more stripped back or more texture type of thing playing, which I kind of like. Kind of harkens a little bit to the 80s. But yeah, songs that were highlights: Not Dead Yet, The Story, Under the Stars, Thrill the Chase, Raindrops, New Strip, and The End were all pretty good. Those were kind of the highlights for me. But yeah, I'm really digging this kind of new, project that Alex is a part of. Still shows that he still wants to put out some new stuff and showcase more that maybe we're not as used to when he was in Rush. But it's cool, very cool album. Definitely thumbs up. And now we have Jethro Tull with Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die from 1976. Okay, so I picked up yet another Jethro Tull album. And I will say, it's okay. This is one of those okay albums for me. I like some of it, but the rest is kind of like, don't really have much to say about it. highlights, Quiz Kid, Taxi Grab, From a Deadbeat to an Old Greaser, Big Dipper, and the title track. I don't know, this kind of, it's, because the last album was Minstrel in the Gallery, which is a big, kind of more proggy album. But here, it's not as proggy. There's still some, but songs are a lot shorter, a bit more to the point, I would say. Yeah, I don't know. This one could grow on me, and I think some people say this is a pretty solid album from them, but I don't know. For me, it just was kind of, didn't do a whole lot for me, which is kind of disappointing. But again, who knows? It could grow on me more. And now we got some King Crimson. I picked up 3 albums from them, and those albums are In the Wake of Poseidon from 1970, 3 of a Perfect Pair from 1984, no, 80, which 81, 80, 84, yeah, I was right the first time. And then we have their final studio album from 2003 with The Power to Believe. So of course we're going to start off with In the Wake of Poseidon from 1970, which was their second studio album, and often seen as a kind of a letdown from the debut because it's kind of a similar vein that they're doing on this one, because you still have Greg Lake on lead vocals, even though technically he probably wasn't a member by this point, but he agreed to stick around for this. And of course Robert Fripp's there, Peter Sinfield still does the lyrics, and then everything else is kind of, you know. But I thought it was a pretty solid album. Like, I still think there's some good moments on here. There's this whole trilogy with Peace. You have a beginning, a theme, and an end, which, you know, those are fine. But the songs themselves, like, I really dug Pictures of a City, Candace, and Cascade. And then the title track was pretty nice. Cat Food, even though it's a pretty strange name. Why Cat Food? But actually, I kind of dug that one. But of course, most people would say the Devil's Triangle is considered one of the best songs on here. And yeah, that's a song that really grows on you. Like, it starts very slow. Like, it is a long fade in. But once it starts to get going, especially towards the end, I think that's where it really shines. But it's a slow burn, to say the least. But still pretty good album, and I like the album cover too. Still very colorful. But yeah, pretty good one. But now we go ahead and move on to 3 of a Perfect Pair. Yeah, Perfect Pair. Yeah. And of course, this is the last album during this kind of 80s phase of the band, where you had Robert Fripp, Adrian Belew, Bill Bruford, Tony Levin, and I think there was someone else, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, I got them all. And yeah, it's another pretty good one. I mean, Discipline is the big one from the 80s, and that's still my favorite, but I think this is probably second best so far. I haven't listened to the Beats yet, but hopefully we'll check that out pretty soon. But highlights, the title track, Model Man, Sleepless, Man with a Open Heart. Then side 2 is kind of where it gets weirder, because side 1 is somewhat of a more accessible side, but then side 2 is where they get to the weird stuff. Wasn't as into the weird stuff, but I like Dig Me. And of course, this album is also notable because you have Larks, Tongues, and Aspic Part 3. So getting a follow-up. So there you go. Strong album, so this could grow on me more. And then we have The Power to Believe, and like I said, it's their final studio album, and it's a pretty strong, solid album to go out with. And I don't know, I think at this point people doubt they'll ever record another album, but still, people say it's a pretty decent enough note to go out with. Level 5, which is actually supposed to be Larks, Tongues, and Aspic Part 5, but they kind of called it Level 5 for some reason. Kind of annoying, but whatever. Eyes Wide Open, Electric, Dangerous Curves, Happy with What You Have to Be Happy With. Probably, again, not like a favorite album from them for me, because it's kind of a more very industrial sounding, very high compression, but still the playing is really good, and still I'm getting close to getting the whole catalog, so we're getting close to it. Next, we got some Moody Blues. We have Every Good Boy Deserves Favor. Came out in 1971. And I almost have all of the, I guess you could say, classic period of the Moody Blues, excluding the debut, starting with Days of Future Past, and then kind of, I forget what the last album was, what people say it's that classic period, but again, I'm almost there. Maybe one or two more, I think. I have to look at it again. But picked this one up, and yep, another Moody Blues album I thought was pretty good. Highlights The Story in Your Eyes, Our Guessing Game, Emily's Song, After You Came, One More Time to Live, You Can Never Go Home, and My Song. Don't have much to say really. They're kind of like a Jethro Tull, where I like them a lot, but don't love them too much. Probably a band I can listen to when I'm in the right mood, but most of the time sometimes, I'll be honest, I sometimes forget about them, which is kind of a shame, because like I said, I do dig them quite a bit, but I don't really have a strong desire to listen to them. That could be on me, but still, I like it though, so not bad. And then we have Nirvana Unplugged, and it's an album I had to get at some point because it's a pretty highly regarded kind of unplugged sort of episode or live show. And yeah, what's more to say about it? Yeah, it's a very good album. I mean, yeah, some of their well-known songs, but there's a lot of covers on here. Of course, it has their rendition of David Bowie's Man Who Sold the World, which has gone to be kind of highly regarded in its own right. But yeah, sounds good. Again, I'm not huge into the unplugged thing, honestly, but like I said, because it has a huge status, I mean, I had to one day get it, and yep, it was at a record store. It was cheap, so there you go. So yeah, not much else to say, but yeah. Alright, I talked about Dr. Dre, and I briefly mentioned NWA, and speaking of NWA, yep, I picked up the first album, Straight Outta Compton, from 1989. Yep, I picked this up too, because might as well get them both, because Dr. Dre, NWA, it makes sense to pick it up, because they're kind of like a duo, kind of a package deal almost, in my head. Yep, comparing this one and The Chronic, I do prefer this one personally, because there's a lot of anger on this one, and that's kind of one of the big appeals with rap, and even same idea with heavy metal. They all kind of have a very angry sound to it, so if you have some aggression and you just want to let it out, this is like a perfect soundtrack. And really, I can say my favorite songs, but really, I dug every song on here. So I really thought this was a really good album. So yeah, I'm definitely open to checking out more rap albums now. I know there's a ton of big ones out there, so if you're a rap fan, the few of you who are rap fans, please let me know other good rap albums or hip-hop albums I should check out, because I'm definitely more open to them. So just want to quickly talk about that. Next up, we have two albums from the same band. We have more Oasis. We have Heathen Chemistry, and I have Dig Out Your Soul. So starting out with Heathen Chemistry, I really bought this because I knew one song, and that is Stop Crying Your Heart Out, which is a great ballad from them. I love that one. But the other songs, there were some good songs on here. The Hindu Times, Force of Nature, Songbird, Little by Little, She Is Love, I thought were pretty good ones. Again, I don't think any album will ever top What's the Story of Morning Glory, really, but still, I liked it. That was a pretty good album. Not like a amazing one, but still pretty good. And then Dig Out Your Soul, which is actually their final studio album, and it's actually ironic because not that long ago I did a video talking about US, UK songs used in anime, which you should check out, and please comment on it. And one of the songs I mentioned was Falling Down, which was for the anime East of Eden, if that's the name, if I remember correctly. But funny enough, not long after I made that video, I found the album which that song's on. So that's the reason why I got it. And of course, Falling Down is great, but there were some more highlights. The Turning, Waiting for the Rapture, Shock to the Lightning. The Nature of Reality and Soldier On I thought were pretty strong. So for a final album from them, I thought it was a decent enough note to go out with. Some nice songs, other songs I thought were just okay. Definitely have a more psychedelic inspiration on here, but yeah, not bad. And then we have some more Rolling Stones, and this one is a studio album, and we have Emotional Rescue from 1980. Now, I'll be honest, I have heard this album before, and when I first heard it, I absolutely hated it, because it's them kind of doing a more dancey sort of thing, which I thought sounded really dumb. But nowadays, I don't really hate it. I mean, it's nowhere near my favorite Rolling Stones album, like not even close. But you know, some of the songs grew on me. I still don't like the first song, Dance Part 1. Didn't care for that one. But Summer Romance I thought was okay. Let Me Go was fine. Indian Girl, Where the Boys Go, and All About You I thought were pretty solid tracks on here. Again, not a favorite of mine, but I don't really have that much of a disdain for it these days, but still don't really have a drive to listen to it again. And now here's an album that many people have been talking about because I showed Spirit not that long ago. Actually no, it's been a bit. But I know many people have cited this one as a big album for them, and that is this one right here. We have 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. And yeah, this one did not disappoint. I thought it was a pretty good one. I think I might prefer this over the debut, personally. Because the playing is really good. Kind of has that more rocking sort of thing. Definitely rocks out is what I'm trying to say. And a lot of the songs here were actually very good. You have Nothing to Hide, Nature's Way, Animal Zoo, Love Has Found a Way, Mr. Skin, When I Touch You, Street Worm, Life Has Just Begun, Morning Will Come, Soldier. So most of the album I thought was really great. Again, great guitar playing, vocals were pretty solid all the way through, and yeah, overall, it's just a very nice album overall. So definitely would recommend this if you want to check out some Spirit. Yeah, check it out. And now we have Steppenwolf, and we have their second album, aptly titled The Second. So Steppenwolf the Second. Get it? Anyway. Yeah, so I picked up their debut album earlier this year, and I thought it was really great. That's a great album from the 60s, great debut album from that time period. So I definitely want to check out their second album, and I found it. And I liked it, but yeah, nowhere near as good as the debut, honestly. Still, some good songs like Faster Than the Speed of Life, None of Your Doing, Spiritual Fantasy 28, and yeah, Magic Carpet Ride, which I think was a big hit. So that was pretty good. And then Resurrection was pretty good too. But I don't know, the rest of the songs don't quite hit as hard. There's no other Born to Be Wild. It definitely has a more of a psychedelic approach. I mean, you can tell by the album cover, very out there. So yeah, kind of a disappointment, but you know, it's not bad. There's still some good stuff on there. And now we have some Rod Stewart. We have his debut album, the Rod Stewart album from 1969. Of course, funny enough, this actually had a different title in the UK and a different album cover. In the UK, they chose the song An Old Raincoat Won't Ever Let You Down as the title, and they have this very, very bad photo on the cover. Like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like, get that stuff out of here. Like, this is actually more better, because it's more elegant looking. Very Beggar's Banquet-esque, if you ask me. But, I mean, funny enough, it starts out with the cover of Street Fighting Man, which is also on Beggar's Banquet, so don't know if that was intentional or not, but still, Rod Stewart. I really like Rod Stewart. I mean, I have a couple of his albums in the collection, and found this and definitely wanted to check it out, because I know my friend Scott said this was a really good album, and yeah, I really liked it a lot. Like I said, it starts out with Street Fighting Man, which actually a pretty good cover of it. Blind Player was good. Handbags and Glad Rags, don't know what that means, but and then, you know, the old Raincoat, Won't Ever Let You Down is pretty good too. Cindy's Lament and Dirty Old Town were some of the highlights for me. Yeah, definitely nice to have more Rod Stewart in the collection, and pretty good start for a solo career. So there you go. And now we have probably the biggest score from one of my last trips to the record store, because it's 4 albums from the same band, and the band is UFO, and I've been in quite a kick in recent time. So I actually picked up their first album, UFO 1, their second album, UFO 2, Flying, and then I have 2 albums from the Michael Schenker era. We have No Heavy Petting, and we have Lights Out. So I'm actually not going to say much on their first 2 albums, and I'm actually very shocked I was able to find these, because I'm pretty sure these don't come across that often in the wild, because, you know, they kind of are very different from what we know of UFO, and I could say my opinion on them, but honestly, I actually am planning to make a video on these 2, and that's where I'll go more in depth on my thoughts on them. Kind of similar to other videos I've done, you know, Genesis is Forgotten EP, you know, Mark 1 Deep Purple, Tony Martin era Black Sabbath. Like, this is like a good kind of more forgotten history type of video, kind of retrospective almost. So look out for that video, because I'm not sure how many people will watch it, but still, I think it'll be a very cool thing to talk about, something a bit more obscure from the band. So I'll leave it at that for now, but I will talk about the other 2. I'll start with No Heavy Petting, with that wonderful Hypnosis cover, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, not what's more to say. I mean, you have Michael Schenker in the band, and the guitar playing is of course stellar, and yeah, it's pretty heavy. Again, I enjoyed every song on here. It is a great hard rock album, so definitely check this out. Especially check out Lights Out. Of the 4 that I show, this is definitely the best one. I mean, so many great songs. I mean, gotta mention Love to Love. Love that track. Too Hot to Handle is a great opening one. Title track's great. I also really like kind of the ballad song Try Me, which some people will say that's kind of sappy, but I don't mind it. I mean, I like sap, whatever. But excellent hard rock album. Very, very, very heavy stuff. So excellent stuff. So yeah, UFO definitely have been in a bigger kick in recent time, and very glad I am right now. So there you go. Okay, so we're talking about some Joe Walsh, and this album is called Barn Burn from 1972. So it's kind of confusing, because some sources say it's credited to just Joe Walsh, but I also heard that Barnstorm is a separate band entirely. So I don't know which is which. I'm just going to say Joe Walsh, because the album, I mean, the top says Joe Walsh, so there you go. I'm just going to give it to that. But this is technically his first studio solo album, where he kind of left James Gang, and now this is him on his own now. And pretty nice. I like this one. Definitely a bit more folky, kind of like a folk rock. Still has that Joe Walsh rock sound, but definitely leaning more on the folk, which I don't mind. Songs I liked: Here We Go, Midnight Visitor, Mother Say, Bird Call, Morning, Home, and Turnstone. Not much else to say really, but for a first time solo Joe Walsh, nice start. And then we have Stevie Wonder with one of his more kind of mid-period albums. It's just before he does his classic run of albums in the 70s, but we have Signed, Sealed, Delivered. And, you know, getting more earlier Stevie Wonder, because I have mostly his classic stuff, but this is definitely a very nice album, very enjoyable. Still in his Motown phase, but really good stuff, really good, more poppier type of tracks. A lot of the songs I really liked. I mean, of course, the title track, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours, is great. I also really liked his cover of the Beatles, We Can Work It Out. But yeah, most of the songs I really dug a lot. The only songs that I didn't like were not because they were bad, really. They were still good, but just not as memorable as some of the other songs. It was only 2 tracks, but that kind of shows that, even more conventional Stevie Wonder, still some excellent stuff. Still an excellent singer. Gotta give it to him. So still worth checking out, I would say. And the last CD that we have that's not in a box is the Little Mermaid soundtrack. Again, there's not really much to say. I got it because, I like the movie, so I picked up the soundtrack. So nothing needs a large explanation. I like Little Mermaid, so I got the soundtrack. What more do you want from me? Okay, so we've gone through all the CDs that are available or right in front of me, but like I said in the intro, we are not done yet. We have some stuff to unbox here, so I am going to go ahead. I'm going to unbox them and let's see them. Now I will say there is one missing, and so I'll probably insert it at the end, so we'll get to it eventually, but I'll start with this one first. So I'm just going to rip it open. And in this one we have, well, I briefly mentioned it quite a bit ago, but we have Beat, King Crimson. I know. So I need just one more album from the band, and therefore I would have all the studio albums, and that is Islands. So hopefully I'll get that very soon. But yeah, this is the second album from this different lineup of the band. You still have Adrian Belew, Robert Fripp, Tony Levin, and Bill Bruford. People say this is probably the lesser of the 3 that were released during this time. But still, I'm still definitely very open to it. We'll see how I feel about it. But there you go. We have Beat by King Crimson. Well, I didn't have to wait that long because not long after I finished recording this, the last package came in the mail. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox it. And what do we have? It is King Crimson's Islands. So there we go. I now own every King Crimson studio album. Very proud of myself. Potential favorite song each album or ranking? Let me know in the comments if you want to see those. But there we go. Every King Crimson studio album in the collection. And then we get to the big box here. And this is probably the one I'm most excited about because I've been meaning to get this for quite some time. And I'm very fortunate I was able to get it for nothing too expensive, because I know something like this will easily, people will easily like jack the price up or scalp more money from you. But luckily I still got it for a decent enough price. So I'm going to showcase what's in this. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and slide it out here. And the thing I picked up was, the Gillan box set. So if you don't know, of course, I'm sure people know who Ian Gillan is, lead singer of Deep Purple. But there was a period where he left the band and he formed, first he formed the Ian Gillan band, which is a completely different thing. But eventually he kind of went for a more hard rock, because the Ian Gillan band was more of a jazz fusion, progressive rock thing. But for the Gillan band, he goes back to his roots, goes for a more hard rock approach, and people say this is actually a really good band. Very underrated, people say, and I will find out if that's true or not. But I gotta unbox this. I gotta take it out of the shrink wrap to showcase it. So I'm gonna quickly open it here. We'll see if I can save that hype sticker right there, if you can see it. So it comes in this slipcase. You have a little booklet here. I'm not going to go through everything, but you just open it up. Got some artwork and stuff like that, and some little bit of reading info, and a little info on each album, some live shots. Pretty stuff you expect. But then we get to the actual albums. So they come in these kind of, I don't know what you call these, like folders or whatever. And 7 albums it includes. And so you open it up, and the format is basically, you have the album cover. So this is the first album, just called Gillen, or the Japanese album because it only came out in Japan. But then when you flip it, that would be the back cover. Very close to how it originally was. So next album is Mr. Universe. And then if you flip it, there's the back cover. And then the next album will be Glory Road. And so when you flip it again, there it's the back. Then you have Future Shock. And then there's the back cover. And then let me just show at least one CD. Hopefully you can see that. It's holding in a weird way. I mean, I will say it's pretty big. Maybe a bit bigger than they need to be. Especially because they're only CDs, but you know, it is what it is. Let me just fold this back out. So there you go, that's the first one. And then we have the second one, which is Double Trouble, which was a double album originally came out. So you get the back cover, plus you get an extra photo. So these two are the same album. But then you have Magic, which is their final album, before Ian would kind of ditch the band in order to join Black Sabbath. So that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, I'm excited to check out this stuff. I mean, I love Ian Gillan, one of my favorite rock singers of all time. And yeah, checking out more of his more solo stuff, I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I'm sure of it. So there you have it. And of course, a lot of these, even though I'm not gonna give my opinions on them now, like they're still qualified for the end of the year top 50 albums discoveries. So we'll see if any of these make that list. So stay tuned for that. And there you have it. Those are all the CDs I've picked up throughout the month of May. A lot, but overall very happy with a lot of the stuff here. And again, we'll see what June has to offer. I know it's going to be kind of a busy summer for me as usual, but we'll see what I can get my hands on. So as always, in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on any of the CDs that were shown. And of course, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you are new. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye for now.